Hey everybody, final thoughts time for a study in Emerald. Oh my goodness. Oh, this game is such a brilliant mishmash of mechanisms. I mean, it really does feel like it came from the mind of a madman for somebody who spent way too much time hanging around with Cthulhu and just went, one flew over the cuckoo's nest. Because everything integrates so interestingly in a million different ways. You will never play the same game of Study in Emerald twice. There are so many crazy things that can happen depending on what cards come into the game. I mean, this particular game, randomly set up, I never even saw the zombies, which have the potential to spread all throughout the world and create a zombie apocalypse. Never saw the vampire virus, where once the vampires come in, all your agents can one by one get turned into vampires. You yourself can turn into a vampire, which makes you immortal. And if you're an evil player, you can score points for all the vampire army you have under your thrall. But even if you're a good guy and you don't get points for them, you can have an immortal army of agents who are helping you spread all over the place. Sometimes the double agents can really play a big deal. Sometimes there are no double agents in the game at all because the ones you started with don't match the agents that actually came out. Every time you play, the random seeding of so many different elements is just going to take this game in a wacky different direction, and it's brilliant. It's sloppy, it's messy, but it's gorgeous. It's just so clever and creative and just off the rails crazy. It's so crazy it just might work. That's what Study in Emerald is. Here's the problem, though, for me and Jen anyway. As much as I like it, as much as I really have to, tip my hat to Martin Wallace. I mean, he really brought the theme to life in an unimaginably clever and twisted way. Here's the problem, though. He did not make a very good two-player game. At least in my opinion, this game just does not work as a two-player game. This is one of the few games I've had the rare opportunity to play with two, with just me and Jen, and also with more. And with more, this game just explodes. The core problem is, 9 times out of 10, area control games are terrible with two players, and Jen's in my opinion. We just find it to be drudgery. The whole seesawing back and forth of, okay, well, I'll take this country. Well, I'll take it back. All right, well, I'll take this country. Well, I'll take it back. And I'll take this one, and I'll take that back. And just the back and forth, back and forth. I do a top 10 area control games for two players, but I don't think it's possible because I don't think there are 10 games that are good area control with two players. They just don't work as a rule, and this one doesn't either. I was doing my best to try and come up with interesting, clever things to show you rather than just make it a never-ending seesaw back and forth of, okay, I'll take St. Petersburg, you take it, I'll take it, you take it. But that's what this game really focuses on. And it needs to have at least 3 players. All this goes up to, how does it go up to 5, I think? Yeah, it goes up to 5. So the more the better. The more the merrier with this game. Because then once you've got 5, 4, or even 3, then you've got multiple people fighting for the same plots of land or the same cards, and then things get exciting. And what's more, there is a huge element of the game that's lost in two-player. Because, I didn't talk about it all, but here's what happens with 3 or more. Now, of course, everybody, unlike Shadows over Camelot or Battlestar Galactica, you don't set up the secret identity card deck to ensure that there's always, okay, let's make sure there's always a certain percentage that are Cylons or not. It could be that everybody is on the same team. It's impossible to know when you play this game. But what happens is, at the end of the game, however it ended, whether it was on the Revolution track, the War track, a Restorationist agent got killed, or the point score got hit, whatever it is, when the game ends, everybody reveals their secret identities. And then points shift around because, I might have been assassinating evil elder gods just to make it look like I was on the Restoration team, and then when I revealed that I was really a loyalist, all those points I got, I lose those points. But it was worth it to trick you into thinking I was on your team. So that kind of stuff happens. So there's a shuffling of points. But then what happens when the final points are delivered? Say you and I are on a team together, and Jen, the third player, is by herself. And you scored the highest score in the game. You trounced everybody else. You had cities like crazy. You had like 30 points. But me, your teammate, I did really terrible. I only ended up with 5 points. And Jen was somewhere in the middle. She was at 25 points. What you do is, if there are two teams, whichever team has the lowest scoring member, that team immediately loses. It doesn't matter how well everybody else did. Everybody loses. So in that case, where you did amazingly, but me, your teammate, I did poorly, I lost the game for you. And so that's when this game becomes this beautiful semi-cooperative thing, where not only do you have to figure out that I'm on the same team as you, but you also have to, once you figure that out, because you can never trust me. I could be bluffing up a storm. But if you do believe that I am on your team, and you can see that my points are so low, you have to go out of your way to help me. You have to help me get back up so that I am not in last place. So that when the end comes, my last place doesn't force you to end. But then, if you did that, and we were both on the same team, and you helped to ensure that I wasn't in last place, then, after the other team is eliminated, only one of us can win, and it'll be whoever has the most points. So you're working with me to keep me from pulling me along, but if you do too well, and I catch up and surpass you, I could still be the one to win the game. That is mind-blowing in its implications. This is a brilliant, brilliant semi-cooperative game. And the more players you have, the more uncertainty there is at the table of who is on whose team, who has what points. Because half the points you earn in this game are as hidden and secret as your identity is. I only demonstrated the points that are on display. Points you get for assassinations, points you get for taking over cities, but points you get for controlling zombies, points you get for controlling vampires, points you get for assassinating other agents, and several other types of points throughout. Those points are hidden. You can never be sure if those points are valid or not until the identity is revealed. So it's just amazing. This game is so smart. If you have more than two to play with, and you are interested at all in the subject matter of Sherlock Holmes or Cthulhu, or both if you happen to be lucky, and you love the idea of hidden roles and bluffing and trying to get into the mind of your opponent, and you love, hidden surprise, come from behind tricks and crazy game-changing events, this game is amazing. You have to switch it out. It's just so dang cool. And it just breaks my heart that it doesn't work. This game definitely, to work as a two-player game, needs some kind of dummy player to bring that element of area control suddenly becoming more interesting. That, there's a third character who's vying for these areas as well. And there is a third character who we may or may not be aligned with. Without that, as a two-player game, it is a bit of a flop. But with more players, my God, probably one of the most innovative games of 2013. And if it wasn't too late on the Dice Tower stuff, I would have definitely voted for it as one of the most innovative games. But unfortunately, the voting is already over and I missed my window. But, so I apologize, Martin Wallace. You definitely deserve kudos as having come up with one of the most creative, original, out of left field, just crazy, insane game designs of 2013 by far. That is what Study in Emerald is. If you're interested, go seek it out. What a crazy, crazy game. Thanks for watching, folks. Sorry for any mistakes I made. Sorry if I went on a bit long. Just kind of got caught up in it. But hopefully, this gives you an idea of whether this is a game for you. Because this is a hard game to judge. But hopefully, you now know what it feels like. And you can make a move on it. Or not. Anyway, thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Have a very, very nice day. Bye-bye.